Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Hvorfor, Norge. Today's episode is in English because I am sitting here with a cool guest from Great Britain. Her name is Emma Wallond. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Emma, it's kind of strange because we haven't met together physically before. However, I feel like I know you from before, which is the beauty of social media. I've been following your account and I feel like I'm meeting a friend.
I'm so excited to be here because this is also my first ever podcast.
Oh, so cool. And it's with me. Think about that.
Honored.
That's great. And yeah, it's cute because the way I discovered you is that you have very both informative but also very entertaining Instagram account. And now we need to hear the story behind it. So first of all, everyone, follow. It's like Emma Britt in Oslo.
Yeah, so my handle is Hey Wally.
Oh, yeah.
Just one word, HeyWali on TikTok and then 3 eyes on Instagram. But yeah, if you search Emma, Oslo and Norway, I'll probably show up, hopefully.
Cool. So you are from England, right?
Yes.
And how long have you been in Norway?
I've been in Norway now, coming up to 2 years.
Oh, you're quite new to the
know.
country,
Yeah.
but not new anymore. That you know the deal about the winter and so on, right?
Do you know what? People tell me that I'm crazy because I actually love the winter here. Last winter was too warm for me. My first winter was at minus 20.
Yes.
Oh, it was the best. It was like a winter wonderland. It was like my first time ice skating on a real lake, and I loved it. And then last winter it was a bit milder, so I'm hoping for another cold one.
You have your dose of rain from your past life, I believe.
Everyone in Norway says to me, like, oh, we have like such bad winters here. And I say, well, you know how you say you don't like October, November because it's dark and it's rainy. Think of that for 6 months of the year. And that's the UK.
Really? Oh, okay. I mean, if you say something negative about UK to a French person, obviously that's music in my ear. No, of course not.
I was going to say, are we going to mention the history here between...
I know, that we won the 100-year war? No, I'm kidding. But the thing is, I think, you know what? There is something I need to tell you. I think French people deeply envy a lot of things about the UK, both high culture and pop culture.
Really?
So everything you say sounds cool. Even when we say Emma, you say Emma.
Emma.
And Norwegians say Emma. So anyway, Emma, it's very nice to have you. You came 2 years ago. What brought you to Norway?
So it was my husband's work that brought me to Norway.
Is he from the UK too?
Yeah, he's from the UK. So when the opportunity came up to move to Norway, it was one of those things where because it was with work, it was such low risk. So we kind of like had to say yes in a way. And we had visited before and we had loved it. So yeah, now we're 2 years on and we haven't looked back.
That's so cool. What do you do in Norway? You are obviously working with social media. Do you do anything else?
Yeah, so I'm doing social media. In my brain, I am just like this normal girl who posts silly videos on the internet because I also have a day job. So I'm a marketing freelancer and I work for clients.
Oh, that's so cool.
So I'm often doing like my editing in the evenings and the weekends and filming like that. So when I have people like reach out like you for this opportunity, it's kind of like a bit starstruck.
Well, welcome to the studio, Emma. You have
Thank
no
you.
idea who's been there before. A lot of stars, actually. But it's nice. You're one of them. And so what was the first observation you thought, this is different from what I used when you came to Norway? It could be anything.
The first time I came to Oslo, we were staying in a hotel in Grünerløkka, and I arrived and we woke up in the morning, and bearing in mind, like, this is like the center of the city, right? We opened the window because it was springtime and it was silent. And I was thinking, if you were in the center of London, you'd hear cars, you'd hear beeping, you'd hear people, but it was just like this haven of like beautiful silence, trees across the road, and it was just lovely. And we were thinking, oh my gosh, it feels like, you know, you're in a city, but you're not in a city. So, yeah, I think...
Yeah, that's true. The calm and relaxing. It's interesting that you point on this because I think we tend to forget how it is. And my hometown is Paris. And when I come home to Paris, I feel like there is so many stimuli all around that I get very tired at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's so
like
true.
I became more Norwegian than I think.
It's so true. And you have these pockets of calm in the city, which is like we weren't in the center of Grünerløkka. We were just, you know, on the edge. But of course, you have this center of calm, and then you can go into the bustling spaces where you have that energy and you have that livelihood. And then you can kind of like walk 10 minutes and it's like beautiful, quiet, and very nice. And the air here is 10 out of 10.
The quality, air quality?
Air quality, when you step off the aeroplane and breathe in that Norwegian air. Ooh, all of my friends comment on that as well. So the quiet and the crisp air.
Cool. Should perhaps bring some air in a bottle next time I have like souvenir to bring back from Norway.
You can sell it. Start a business.
And and also the water quality is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, let's
Tap
not talk
water.
about the quality of water in London.
It's crap?
Tastes terrible. Sorry if anyone's from London listening to this, but I do agree Norwegian water is better.
The thing is, I always thought, no, as a good French person, I was like, ah bah non, the Parisian water is best, obviously. And then after 15 years in Norway, I'm like, each time I come home, I'm like, so, I miss tap water like crazy in Norway, because I think the French one is not as good as a Norwegian one. And same with strawberries, which kills my heart. My French heart is crying now, but the strawberries in Norway are amazing. And when I heard that at the beginning, I was like, Norway, strawberry? No. But yes, they do. Okay, so you came 2 years ago and you noticed the quality of air. What was the kind of the surprising culture crash you've experienced when starting interacting with people? What surprised you?
Everyone has said to me before moving here that Norwegians are a cold bunch. I heard that from Norwegians, I heard that from other people. And then when I came here and actually experienced it, I had the complete opposite experience to that. And that was what shocked me, was how friendly people were, how people were interested as to why I was here, what I was doing. And actually, I've really enjoyed meeting and speaking to lots of Norwegian people and not having the cold Norwegian experience, which I hear lots of other people have experienced.
But Emma, is it because you have a dog? Because I've heard that it's also a kind of an icebreaker.
The first few days, yes, because we were walking around our neighborhood and people were like, oh, this new person. Then obviously no Norwegian came out of my mouth. It was just, snakker du engelsk? And then, they were like, why did you move from near London to Oslo? Because usually it's the other way around. So the first couple of days, yes. But I think kind of like, I'm also a bit, in English, we say, I can chew someone's ear off. Not the literal meaning, just I can talk to anyone. And I'm very interested in people's lives as well. So I feel like if you are giving the olive branch and interested in people's lives, the warmth can radiate back.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
That's my experience anyway.
That's cool. So snakker du norsk, Emma?
Litt norsk.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, your English accent in Norwegian is awesome. Okay, what is your favorite Norwegian word?
This is not going to be a normal one, but it is hestehale.
And why is it hestehale?
I don't know. It just feels so nice to say, and I just feel like.
Can you say ponytail in English?
Say what?
Say ponytail.
Ponytail.
No, but in French, it's queue de cheval.
Oh,
Queue de cheval.
that sounds very fancy.
Pferdeschwanz auf Deutsch.
How many languages do you speak?
Many, but it's not the question. You are the one to be interviewed today, not me, Emma. No. Okay, cool. You've noticed that people were friendly. That's super cool. Is there any hack you would give to any people that are, slow, like, and perhaps grew up in another country to get to know Norwegians?
Yeah, so the first week I actually went to a life drawing class because I did
live
art.
drawing?
Yeah.
Or like naked people in the middle of the room and you were drawing them? Is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
And
the
of
most
course
un-Norwegian thing.
I know. Okay, live drawing. I note this down for next week on my to-do list.
It's really fun. So do things that you enjoy because then you meet people who are also like-minded to you. And I think as well, like I said, if you ask the questions and you initiate the conversations with people in these spaces where you have common ground, it's much easier to get to know someone and you feel kind of like less awkward talking to them, I think.
It's interesting what you say because some of our guests say that it takes a lot of repetitive interactions with people to finally crack the code and get to know the people for real. Do you think that's the way to go, to participate in an activity and then at the end, after each Wednesday doing the same activity with the same group, you get to know each other well?
Yeah, I think so. But I also think it's very similar to getting to know a British person as well.
Oh, really?
In London, we are notorious for looking down at our feet on our phone. You do not clock eye contact with someone. You do not say hello to someone. So I think if you were, not from London or the UK, you could come into London and think exactly the same thing.
Interesting.
And it does take a long time to get to know anyone, really. When you start to think about the friends that you've made over the years and you look back maybe like 2, 5 years, even 6 months, you kind of like, you learn more about that person over time anyway. I think Norwegians give themselves such a hard rep, and they say that, you know, they're difficult to crack. But I think, aren't we all a little bit?
It's true, but at the same time, some people, especially if coming from the south of Europe or north of Africa, comment often in this podcast where the spontaneous hospitality, where it would be super normal to get people over for a meal, open your doors, ask the neighbors to come without any particular plan, having both children and adults around the table on a casual weekday. This is something that perhaps is experienced as difficult for these people coming to Norway because Norwegians exactly are perhaps more private when opening their door to their house or to their cabin, for example. That being said, I agree that in Paris you never look also to strangers, otherwise you can be either stolen or harassed, or it's super tiring and it's unsafe plus, which is not the case in Oslo. So I agree with you. I agree with you on that, but I think that the part where you can talk to your neighbors, let's say, for example, in Paris, if you sit at a restaurant, you always sit very close to the other tables because Paris is very, very little compared to the size of London geographically. Everything is more packed. A lot of people, but everything is smaller, right? And so if you sit so close to others, it's not unnaturally to start having a discussion. If you do that in Norway, you're a bit strange, aren't you?
I think that's the same. That's the same in London.
Ah, okay. You don't disturb, right?
No, you don't disturb. But I also just think I'm just that strange foreigner who does speak to their neighbours. I have a chat with everyone. And maybe they think I'm strange, but then I think it's nice to get to know the people around you, and it might not be Norwegian. And of course, I'm not banging their doors down saying, let me in for a meal or whatever, or come over and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's being aware of those cultural differences, but also giving the olive branch. And, you know, they don't have to talk back, and they can just say, you know, thank you, I'm having a nice day and I'm going to go. But I think it's nice. I tell you what, though, if any of my neighbours are listening to this, they're going to go, that British girl, he keeps talking to me in the hallway. For God's sake.
I've seen a very hilarious videos on social media about a Swede making fun about that, like, you know, hiding behind his door, waiting for the neighbors to exit the whole building so he would rather be late at work than having this small talk with this neighbor he sees every day. I thought it was very relatable. At the end, after 15 years here, I'm also became more Norwegian than I thought. Sometimes I'm in an elevator and I'm like, I hope no one's going to talk to me. Because I'm like, isn't it nice to have your private space sometimes?
But I've always tried to speak Norwegian with them. So not only am I un-Norwegian by speaking to them, I'm speaking to them in the most broken Norwegian they will hear that week.
But are you learning Norwegian now?
Yeah. I've been learning for 2 years now.
So you learn hestehale?
Yes.
And did you learn there's just any like proverb or metaphor you think are fun or expressions you think are very Norwegians?
Ut betyr aldri sur.
Oh, they've brainwashed you too.
Så koselig. But I tell you what, if it's raining outside and it's cold, I'm going to stay inside the cabin. My Norwegian friends can go out and I'll have dinner ready for them when they're home.
That's nice. Okay, so you've been to the cabin. That's a very Norwegian thing to do. Have you tried cross-country skiing?
I have tried cross-country skiing twice.
In 2 years? This is much more than me in 15.
Really?
But anyway, yeah, I don't do that. But okay, tell me, how was it?
Very difficult.
You're so polite. You should be in French. You're like, ah putain, c'était horrible. And you're like, it's difficult.
Here's the thing. It's the balancing. And then when it's icy, like last winter, it was very mild and freezer. It was just ice.
Yeah.
At Holmenkollen. And there are these children skiing past me. They can't walk, but they can ski.
I know.
And then here I am, a grown adult, falling over on these like skis, doing the biggest snowplow you'll see down the slope. But I've been very lucky, and I know how to downhill ski. So I feel like
that was a good start.
The first time I ever cross-country skied, I thought, I can downhill ski. I can do this. And we had to ski down to the place where we were learning. It was a lesson. And we went down this hill. And obviously, alpine skiing, you have the boots that lock you in, so you can't fall backwards. I didn't know that, because these are just socks that are attached to sticks, basically, aren't they? Love them, by the way. And, yeah, don't want to offend any Norwegians here. I love Norway.
But we do.
Well, we do. And we went down the hill like this. And the first thing was I went soaring backwards. And it was very embarrassing. But it taught me that you have to lean forward. And it's all about progress, isn't it?
Fremover.
Yes.
Interesting. But it's cool that you didn't give up. And you've been to a hytte. Which hyttes was it? Did you rent one? Were you invited?
So I have a very good friend. Her name is Sunniva, and I studied with her at university, and she moved back from London back to Oslo a couple of years ago. So when I came back here, I already had a
Norwegian friend.
A singular ready-made Norwegian friend. So she's very lovely, and she shares a lot of her Norwegian culture in her life about me.
Nice.
Which also might have been why I felt like it was easier for that integration thing, because she's there, you know, looking after me and taking me along and like showing me all the Norwegian things that are fun to do. So we've been to her cabin lots of times. And then I have another Norwegian friend who's half Australian and half Norwegian, and she's just moved back to Australia actually. But we went to her like generational cabin, which was very beautiful.
So you peed in the wood and you were happy to do so.
Oh, it was so nice.
Oh, Emma, you're so cool. But okay, so I understand that you are very enthusiastic about Norway. Now I'm interested to hear what Norwegians think when you say UK and or London. What do they usually say? What are their first associations? Are they cliches that are true or cliches that are not true at all?
About British people?
Yeah, or British culture generally in a Norwegian mind.
That's very hard. Most people are shocked when they find out I've moved from the UK to here, because like I said, it's normally the other way around. Being very honest, I don't know the stereotypes.
No, but I think they have a positive association. When I think out loud, I think Norwegians, if you tell UK to a Norwegian, he or she would have mostly positive things to say. Plus, they like the pop culture, the music, the football is very popular.
True.
English football is extremely popular in Norway. So even though you don't like football, at least it's a starting point for a discussion, isn't it?
Yeah, and I do think as well, when I've been in international groups of people, like through work or clients, I do also think I see the Brits and the Norwegians kind of naturally gravitate towards each other, because I do think our cultures are fairly similar and we have very similar types of humour as well.
Yeah, okay, and that's the perfect transition to my next topics, because obviously I wanted to bring you there. As you know, I work as a stand-up comedian, and I work in Norwegian, but also partially in English, and I've also done obviously some gigs in French. And I'm amazed by that, because so for me, the British humor is perhaps the biggest, the more mature and the more sophisticated you find in Europe, also because the market there has been much more mature for many years. All the trends come from here. I've been to the French Festival in Scotland 2 years in a row now, and I feel like I'm like opening a box where potential future gems are already shining. It's very amazing to see how they push the barriers about what's about to be funny, and how far you can push the limits of absurdity, sarcasm, irony. It's amazing. It's super rich. I don't think the humor world in Norway is as mature as it is in the UK. However, the trigger for what's funny is very similar, aren't they? Do you have an example of jokes that Norwegians love? Because I think your account is funny. Your Instagram account. Sometimes it's very informative and sometimes very funny. But I believe you resonate in both British and non-British people and Norwegians, don't you?
I hope so. That's what I try and do. And I also just try and be a bit silly on my page as well, because life can be a bit boring.
I know.
Can't it?
Or super terrifying out there. So sometimes it's nice to make people at least smile when they are on social media.
Yeah, exactly. But in answer to your question, I can't think of a joke that people find funny. But one video I have released recently was talking about Norwegian tacos.
Okay.
The beloved tacos, Taco Friday. Everyone loves it. And there's a real Norwegian way to do it, right? And I did a video on that. And it is funny because it's so tongue-in-cheek, because it is, although tacos are not Norwegian, a Norwegian taco is Norwegian. You know, like you have to have the sweet corn and you have to have everything else, and like the special packet from the taco shop, and not a taco shell, but like a wrap and that kind of stuff. And I seem to have offended so many Mexican people.
Oh no, poor
Americans, and I feel really bad because they're clearly not here and they don't understand that. But in the comment section, Norwegians are loving it. They're like, yeah, this is a Norwegian taco, and like seeing the humor within how it's their taco, but not a real taco, but it's still very much, we're claiming it as our own.
Exactly, that grandiosa is the Norwegian approach to pizza. I think all Italians are feeling like they want to cry on that, but it's the Norwegian pizza, it's grandiosa.
I have a secret.
What was that?
I've never tried.
Oh, okay.
Grandiosa.
Oh, okay. That du har ikke norsk. Nei da. That would be super strange for me to say it. I've tried a lot of strange food, but I don't do cross country. That's my secret. And I don't like the ice, and I don't like much the snow. I really hope there's no snow in winter. I'm one of these people like, it's much better to have rain plus 3 degrees. And I know, don't shoot me. I know, I can tell in your blue eyes you're one of them.
We're cancelling each other out. You're like, the rain. And I'm like, please, the ice.
But it's fun. I understand that. I think Norwegians also, what I really like with them is that they have this immense ability to laugh about their own culture. They are very, they are very able to laugh about themselves and their own culture. Someone told me once, we just want to be seen, no matter why. And I'm like, well, at some point, guys, but they're also very patriotic. They have that in them. But I think it's still an enormous advantage to be able to laugh a bit about your own culture, and Norwegians have that, so they probably like your humor for that reason too also.
That's so funny, because I have never been the funny person. At school, I was never the funny person, and then all of a sudden, I seem to have moved to Norway.
And you're hilarious.
And now, apparently, and I have no idea how. I went for lunch with Norwegians before we moved, and
That's hilarious.
It wasn't even a joke. I can't even remember what I said, but I just said this one line very quietly, and I was in this room of men. There were no women, and typically females are not funny in the UK either. We don't need to talk about that, but I made this comment and the whole room erupted into laughter, and I thought, I found my place.
But did you do it on purpose?
No.
Something similar happened to me at my first job in Norway. Everybody laughed, and I didn't know why. And after that, I understood I said something wrong in Norwegian. I was responsible for a project, and I wanted to tell him, as I was concerned about, it didn't go the way it should have been. And I told him very, very loud across the whole open space, som jeg befruktet da. Så det gikk ikke som planlagt, what I meant, som jeg fruktet. And befrukte, it actually means inseminate in Norwegian. It's horrible, but everybody was laughing, and I was like, okay, hva sa jeg nå? And yeah, so it happened to me also, and sometimes you have to own your own mistakes, because if you don't laugh, then you're screwed, right? But it's kind of painful sometimes. What did I say?
Graphic image there.
Yeah, it's disgusting. This project was a tricky one, but this one was disgusting. Yeah. Okay. Have you changed any habits now that you've been in Norway? What do you do where you think, no, I am very Norwegian?
Well, number one, there are many, Cécile, but number one is, in the UK, people love to shop on a Sunday. We love to go to the shop. There's this thing in the UK called B&M. It's this cheap shop where you can get like cleaning products for like $1, £1, and it's like, it's not a very highbrow thing to do. Let's just put it that way. But you like to go shopping, look at clothes, go and get cheap household items, blah, blah, blah. The first Sunday I was ever here, and everywhere was closed, I was like, what do I do with myself? I sat on the sofa having this existential crisis. I can't go and buy my £1 cleaning product. And so that's definitely one thing that I've changed, is obviously you cannot shop.
So what do you do on a Sunday now, Emma?
Well, it forces you just to do nice things for yourself, doesn't it? So I like to go for coffee with my friends. I like to go for walks if the weather's nice. If it's wintertime and there's a lot of ice skating.
You do ice skating?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I really like that. I really, really like that. I'm not very good. I'm very bad, to be honest.
But as long as you have fun, who cares?
Exactly. Yeah, taking a breath for yourself on a Sunday is really good for your mental health. And I feel like the culture in Norway that is what you do on a Sunday for yourself.
It's true. You would never like start big projects on Sundays here. It's true. Yeah. Now that I have kids, it's a lot in the woods now on Sundays. Who would have believed I would spend? I grew up with Sundays at the museums or exhibitions, theater, opera, a lot of art. And now I'm like, yeah, sausages, let's grill in the woods.
Yeah, I want to go outside and lie in some mud. But in all seriousness, it's so koselig. What's that other saying? There's no good clothes.
Det finns ikke dårlig vær.
Yes, that's the one. But I do think there is bad weather coming from the UK. But yeah, going outside as well. I never used to go outside as much as I go outside now, and I love it now. It's very nice.
Is there anything you really miss from your hometown?
I'm so glad you asked this. This is not from my hometown, but this is from my home country. Be right back. I've got a surprise.
Jingle.
Cécile, have you tried British salt and vinegar crisps?
Emma, what is this?
Yeah.
Is this eatable?
Yes, this is the best thing.
This is gastronomy from the UK.
This is my favourite item to eat in the UK that's packaged up.
If you listen to this podcast, Emma is actually showing a little bag of something, which is the color in a French mind sounds like something to wash the toilets, but she seems very enthusiastic. And it's food. It's food apparently. And it says big oops, salt and vinegar.
Yeah, so for any of my British listeners out here we have hula hoops, salt and vinegar, but they're special, Cécile, because they're from the airport and they're better because they're more salt and vinegary.
Did you bring that all the way from the UK for us today?
I just have them in my cupboard, but this is the last one that I have in my cupboard.
Open it.
No, we're opening it now.
Oh,
because
wow.
I need you to try this. Have you tried a salt and vinegar crisp before?
No.
Well, today's your lucky day.
Thank you, UK, for giving us the opening door to gastronomy. Finally, French culture. You know what? I regret what I say when we said we were jealous. I'm kidding, Emma. I'm kidding. This is so cute. It's the first guest that comes with a present at my podcast. Merci beaucoup. Merci.
Cheers.
I'm not sure.
You don't like it?
I love it.
I think you need to take another one.
No, franchement, I'm just being silly now. It's very nice.
One to decide.
It tastes vinegar.
It's very nice, and these are better because there is more like
you're so cute
seasoning
bringing food
on them. But this is what I miss. So every time someone goes back to the UK, I'm like, bring me back some tea, Twinings, strawberry, and some salt and vinegar hula hoops.
Oh, that's so cute. I mean, some people say I miss my family, but you miss the tea and the hula hoops.
I miss the hula hoops.
Okay.
That's it. Podcast over. Cécile's going and eating the rest of the bag. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
It's so nice. You're such an angel. Do you work with Norwegian, Emma?
Short answer, yes. So I'm a marketing freelancer. So I have clients all around Europe and the States, actually. Some of them are Norwegian. I would say about half of my client base and the people I work with are Norwegian.
Interesting, because I do, like cross-cultural keynotes and training for people at work who need to understand better each other's culture and work better hand in hand as such. Seen from a British point of view, where are the difficulties and the comfort zones in working with somebody from Scandinavia?
Being very honest with you, I think one thing that I love about working with Norwegians is how much of a flat structure there is. In the UK, there's very much this hierarchical system where, there's levels of respect and they can talk to you in a certain way and, it's managing the work politics can be challenging. Here, it's much flatter. You have direct report to, the CEO, potentially, if you wanted to, and that's very refreshing, to be honest. I'm not too sure on challenges because I've come from a context of the UK business system where things are a lot more serious, a lot longer hours, expectations are potentially a lot higher. Over here, work-life balance is really
true.
Is very good, actually.
A typical thing that foreigners can experience as challenging while working with Scandinavian is perhaps reading the situation between the lines. Norwegians use their language in a very explicit way. However, they tend to avoid conflict, avoid confrontation. But perhaps that's something you have in common with the UK, I believe, that it's the politeness, whereas some countries are used to very direct feedback and can be a bit confused regarding what has been said here. And I think that's also typical between French and British persons. French people are like, I'm not sure. He said he was happy, I was a great candidate, and then I didn't get the job, which is for a French person very confusing. So, but perhaps if you're from the UK, you don't find it too confusing with Norwegians.
I mean, I found it very similar. I've found very positive experiences working with Norwegian people. Even if I'm to think now of a challenge, I can't think of one off the top of my head because I think they're very, maybe caring is the wrong word, but they're very kind of empathetic as well. So if there's a challenge, it's not, you've done this wrong and you need to take the blame. It's kind of like, oh, well, we're all a team and we take it on board together, which is extremely refreshing from a UK perspective.
We will come closer to the end of this episode, but before we wrap up, I will give you 5 quick questions and you need to answer without thinking too much. You ready?
Yeah.
What is the strangest thing you have tasted in Norway?
Tasted? Well, I don't eat meat, so that rules out a lot of, like, the interesting stuff, don't they? Oh, I know. What's it called? A lumpa? What's that? Lumpir?
Yeah, the potato pancake.
Yeah, and it's not strange in a normal context of eating it, but me, as a fresh immigrant, walking into Oslo, I wanted to make a wrap, like a Mexican wrap. I didn't know what anything was, so I bought a lumpir, and I was, like, wrapping it, and I was like, why is it all falling apart? And then I realised you don't eat it like that.
Oh, that's so cute. But it's strange, isn't it? Strange. I never seen this before. I was solid with a sausage at the first time. I was like, this is too much.
Too much? In what way?
But too strange. I mean, at some point, no. And plus, I like to eat with a fork and a knife. I don't like to, like having food in my hand all the time. Like, can we just sit at the table?
Cécile, that's not friluftsliv.
I know. No, I'm sorry. Unnskyld. What is your favorite Norwegian celebration?
17th of May.
Oh.
Always.
Oh.
I love how, like, the flags are everywhere and everyone's just very proud to be Norwegian.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
True. It is. I kind of envy them, this celebration. What Norwegian TV show you've seen, or reality, or any kind of TV contest you've seen or watched?
Scum has to take the crown.
I love
it.
Scum.
So nice.
Did you watch it in Norwegian?
Well, yes, I watched it in
with
Norwegian,
English text?
but I found English subtitles because I was watching it when I had just moved here, so there was no chance. I tried to watch the first episode without subtitles. Let's just say it didn't go to plan.
No, me neither. I mean, I was in Norway for years when I started. My Norwegian was already good when I started to watch Scum. And at some point I was like, okay, luckily there is Norwegian text. Otherwise I would have missed some information.
Yeah.
I loved Scum.
So
too.
nice.
I know. What is your favorite Norwegian celebrity?
I'm very bad with Norwegian celebrities, being very honest with you. But I'll tell you who my favourite one is. And this is kind of a bit of a side story. But who's the I'm so sorry. I'm about to offend everyone in Norway now. Who is the very famous alpine skier, Axel
Lundsvindal?
Yes. I went to his house.
Oh, yeah, and you don't even remember his name?
I'm so sorry. And he's my favourite because he was so nice. He was very welcoming. He offered me a drink, used his bathroom. This was after like a photo shoot with one of my clients. But he was so nice.
Aww. But there are it would have been in France, people would have been like super inaccessible. But here Norwegians are like so low hierarchy, just to bounce back on what you said earlier, that you can even meet a very important politician, they would be still like very down to earth and friendly and welcoming.
Yeah.
Isn't it strange?
Yeah. He was very, very friendly, very nice. And then I got in the car with the videographer and he was like, Emma, do you know who that is? And I was like, no. And he was like, he could be one of the most famous Norwegian people.
Yeah, that's true. Plus he's very known abroad.
Yeah, he was so nice. Very beautiful house as well.
Yeah, I know. I thought you said everything face, because he's very handsome too.
Does have a very
Axel,
beautiful face
hvis du
as
hører på
well.
oss, sjekk oss.
Yeah, tag him.
Your favorite Norwegian expression?
Oh, this is a hard one. I'm going to do snakker du engelsk?
Oh, okay. Obviously. Did you speak other languages?
No, just English and some Norwegian.
Okay, that's a good start, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think my favourite...
Did you learn language at school?
Well, they tried to teach me French. I'm
Emma,
so sorry,
and you say that at the end of the
Cécile.
episode.
I'm so sorry. I can remember... Comment tu t'appelles?
Oh.
But we already know we moved past that one. Yeah, I'm not a language person at all. But I think, in all seriousness, my favourite Norwegian... it's not a phrase, but the word koselig. Oh, it's just like... It's such a nice word to use, and you can use it in every scenario the best.
That's very nice. Koselig and hyggelig.
Yeah.
And if you
so
have that,
nice.
you can solve anything in Norway.
That and snakker du engelsk. You're sorted.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Emma. And I'm going to do that one more time because that's super fun. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you for having me, Cécile. It's been so fun.
You're a very cool girl. I wish you all the best with all of your projects.
Thank you.
And And I hope you will have a koselig and hyggelig experience in Norway.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.